So yeah, we'll be starting in a few more minutes. But until then, we'll just give everyone a few minutes to just get ready to come to the session, and we'll start in maybe now it's 4:46, so maybe 4 minutes. All right, we have 1 more minute left before we officially start our session. So everyone, I hope everyone who's watching this, thank you for being on time and early. In another 30 more seconds, when the clock hits 4:50 p.m. IST, we will officially start. So until then, I hope you're prepared for the session by Geosley Andrades. And thank you again to XLQ for being here. And I will pass the hosting to the host, Saravanan.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, participants, for joining the session. So as a part of our next session, right? So we have our special guest, our presenter from one of our partnership community partner, who's XLQ, right? So we have a Geosley, who's about to present about the unified test automation to accelerate the continuous delivery on the automation side, right? So without wasting much time, I'm very happy to invite Geosley to take up on the presentations. So Geosley, and to our audience, so far we have seen about all the presentations on the low code, no code. This is more on the workshop side. So let's see. I'm so excited to see what we have for. What Geosley have for us. Okay. Yes, Geosley, you can take the stage. You can go ahead.
Awesome. Thank you for the introduction, and thanks everyone for being here for this workshop. This is something we wanted to do so that you get a real feel of what the world of no code, low code, and codeless looks like. So let me just quickly share my screen, and I would like the host to give me a thumbs up if they can see my screen. So let me just quickly share my screen. Can you see my screen? Can you get a thumbs up?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. So let me get quickly started and let's go. So welcome everyone. Today I'll be talking about unified test automation to accelerate continuous delivery. Uh, Thank you for a wonderful presentation before this from Anuradha. I think she opened your eyes to a whole new world of what you need to consider when you're looking for a codeless test automation platform, and it makes it even more easier for me as I enter into this workshop to explain you the true power of no code, low code. So let's get ahead. I'm Geosley Andrades, Director Project Evangelist at XLQ. I also lead Q Community, which is a global community of test automation enthusiasts. So if you're interested, hit on community.xlq.com and join the community of test automation enthusiasts. A few things about me. I'm an AWS certified solutions architect. I'm also certified Scrum Master and certified Agile leader. My love for automation has been all throughout my career. I have overall 15 years of experience worked in organizations like Cornerstone, JP Morgan, Infosys, and BNP Paribas. So let's get quickly started. Since you're going to spend the next probably 1 hour with me, I really wanted to know what's coming forward, right? So what we're going to do in the next 1 hour is I'm going to give you a walkthrough of how you can automate web, API, mobile, work with Excels, work with JSON files, work with databases. Do you think it's really possible? I hope by the end of this workshop, I can change your mind and you get the confidence that this is truly possible in the world of no code, low code, codeless apps. So what we're trying to do with XLQ is to find and get the sweet spot. The superficial record and playback tools in the past have never met the expectations, and the inability for the application to or the platforms to perform end-to-end automation has always been a problem with the traditional record and playback tools in the past, right? And we do have our custom frameworks on automation. So with XLQ, what we are trying to bring is the best of both the worlds and place ourselves in the center, where we are more focusing on designing your tests versus and giving that modularity and flexibility. So in a few moments, you'll know how easy and how intelligent and codeless our platform is. But we really wanted on our mission to get the best of both the worlds, to give you the flexibility that the code-based automation brings and the easiness that the record and playback tools give. So when it comes to an unified automation platform, and when we say it's truly no code, low code, in a unified platform, it is normally, a tendency we have been traditionally going to specific tools for specific activities, right? Some of the custom frameworks we have, right, just support web automation. They do not support mobile, so we have to hop onto some other framework to automate mobile. There are specific tools pertaining to APIs, right? We used a different tool for test management. Now, what if I told you, a tool like XLQ has all of this embedded all together in one unified platform? So within XLQ, you can do the entire life cycle from web, mobile, API, and even the test management activity and mapping and traceability in one unified platform. Impossible? Not so. You will come to know in the next few minutes. We also have our dedicated XLQ Cloud Lab. This is specifically important instead of hosting your own cloud labs, right? To run it on different browsers, to run it on different mobiles. So an encapsulated solution or a platform like XLQ is truly no code. And I'm going to show you how you can achieve all of this using complete no code. Okay. So of course, behind the hood, there's going to be a lot of code, but when it comes to using the platform, the easiness of how you can use this platform in true natural language and achieve all of this is something I'm going to demonstrate in the next few minutes. So when it comes to a unified platform, what do you mean by a unified platform, and what do you mean by exhaustive full stack automation support? The platform should support the latest and greatest of web technologies like Angular, React, material design, etc. Mobile automation. So not just dedicated to Android automation or iOS automation, it should have a blend of both Android as well as iOS. In terms of API testing, it should support REST, SOAP, GraphQL. It should support mainframes, desktop automations. It should also support backend middleware automation, because testing and automation at all the layers is important. And your context of automation would really be different. Everyone's context of automation would be different. But is there a tool out there which can do everything? Probably I could change your answer in some time. Again, it's not just about automating the complete tech stack. There is other things as well you need to support. Today, we have a lot of enterprise applications booming up, the likes of Salesforce, the likes of Encino, Salesforce CPQ, Velocity, Microsoft Dynamics, Pega, Oracle. All of these are intensive dynamic UI changing applications, right? Can our custom framework support this? Should a framework just be tied up to just one particular enterprise application? Or should it support multiple integrations and omni-channel automation is a question we need to ask ourselves, right? So yes, some of the tools are vendor specific, but that may not serve the purpose today, because in reality or in a real-time use case of automation, you're not just going to work with Salesforce. A Salesforce in an organization today might be integrated with Oracle for financials, might be integrated with Workday for their HRM activities. So in reality, if you have a vendor specific tool, may not serve this purpose. And of course, I may not be covering this, but yes, in tomorrow's session on Salesforce automation, my colleague from XLQ, Avinash, will be covering a lot more on enterprise cloud applications and how XLQ can help you automate the likes of Salesforce. And to be frank, any particular enterprise cloud support, right? So a unified platform needs to have all of these to be truly unified. And to do all of that in no code, low code is really very important, right? So apart from all of these integrations, you need to ensure that with continuous delivery, you need to have continuous testing. Otherwise, it's not possible, right? Can you really shift left? Yes, with XLQ. Is this now a reality? Yes, people are embracing it, but you cannot achieve continuous delivery without continuous testing. So it's really important that you need to make sure that your tools or your platforms are seamlessly integrated with the likes of Jira, Circle CI, Jenkins, etc., and whatnot. So a quick brief, and this is my last slide before I jump into the workshop. I just want to make sure to let you know, when it comes to a unified solution, it needs to support web, mobile, desktop, API, green screens, packaged apps, and whatnot, right? You need to have one platform to do all of these, right? So the decision to decide which tool you need to use, which platform to use, you need to ask yourself, what is the learning curve you're doing, and how much are you investing in setting up different frameworks for different platforms, or can one platform solve this entire problem, right? Automating the likes of Salesforce, Encino, Pega, SAP. XLQ recently announced XLQ Live. So yes, we will be sharing out the recordings. You can catch a look of it for sure if you're interested in enterprise app automations. So we have encapsulated XLQ Live, which is an easier way to deal with releases that happen in these enterprise applications in a live state. You don't really need to change your objects. You don't really need to change anything, right? Our platform has inbuilt version controlling. Now, most of the platforms you have to get and integrated with GitHub and stuff like that. With XLQ, it's as powerful that you do also have version controlling inbuilt within XLQ, right? I would probably say we might be the only tool out there right now which supports inbuilt version controlling in a truly no-code fashion and for a no-code platform, right? We have test management, test suite management with the likes of Jira. You can integrate it with Azure DevOps, Jenkins, etc., and a lot of continuous testing tools out there, right? Running in a platform, like Anurag also mentioned, is one of the powerful capabilities when it comes to using such platforms, right? So you need to have an XLQ farm. So we have an XLQ farm. You can run it on-prem if you have your own farms. You can run it in Docker containers with XLQ. We have third-party farm integrations with the likes of top device farms like BrowserStack, SourceLab, Perfecto, etc. And yeah, the list goes on and on. So let me end this quick tidbits. If you have questions, do put them in the Q&A tab, and I will take them probably towards the end after I finish my demo. Okay, so let me get quickly started. I see a mix of audience today. Some of you have already worked with XLQ. Some of you may feel XLQ is new. So I will start really from the basics, and I'll try to cover and encapsulate all the possible superpowers which XLQ has in the next 40 minutes. Okay, so let's just get quickly started. So we'll just switch screens and okay, let's get started. So quickly, I will just do a hello world scenario. So whoever is new to XLQ will be aware of how you can easily create a test in XLQ. So I'm going to log in into something called as a QBank application. So let me just quickly show it. So what we're going to do in today's use case or in the workshop is basically we are going to log in into QBank application. It's a web application. You sign in here. And we are going to verify the total balance, whether the total balance is correct over here, and then we're going to log out. So that is the first use case we are going to do. In the second use case, what we're going to do is we're going to work with APIs. So we are going to log in into this particular application using a REST API, log in and get the values and also get the total balance. And then we are going to compare the balance that we get from an API with the balance that we see on the UI, right? And in the third section, depending upon the time that we have left, we are also going to integrate it with mobile, right? So we also have a QBank mobile application. So I'll just quickly have recorded that view. So I'll just show you that view. So it's basically, we also have a mobile application that we have where we're going to enter the username and the password, right? And we're going to log in into that mobile application. And in the similar case, in terms of the flow that I'm going to demonstrate, we'll also cover logging into the mobile application and verifying whether the balance is exact, and then we're going to log out of the application. So these are the three things we're going to cover. And then if time permits, we'll also look at how you can work in a truly no-code and codeless fashion with the likes of, interacting with databases, Excel files, JSON files, etc. Right? And trust me, without writing any code. Okay, so just stay tuned and keep watching. So let's start and let's get going. So logging into QBank is what we're going to do. We're going to log in into QBank, and you'll see how easy and it is to quickly create this scenario. So I'll just say invoke the browser. I will select the URL which I want to access. So it's going to be qbank.xlq.com. So put the URL and it'll ask me which page I'm going to land into. So I will say QB login page. Okay, this is the page I'm going to log in and enter. So I say add step. Okay, once I log in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter the user credentials. So I do that. Once I enter the user credentials, I'm going to land into the QB homepage. So I just write that. Now here, what we're more focusing on design principles. As a tester, it's really very important for you to know how to design your test cases versus worrying about how you can automate them. So our focus here is more on the designing aspect, the BDD aspect of test automation, where our focus is more on designing versus worrying about how this can be automated. So we capture the home page, we say add step, and I'll just do a hello world scenario right now, and we'll later capture the balance. So I'll just say log out of QBank. And once I log out, I'm going to come back to the login page. And yes, this is done. And your test case is now ready to be executed and designed. Okay, so you'll see some red dots here. It means you have to enter the action logic for this particular thing. Okay, so I'll enter into the user credentials. Now, the powerfulness of this tool is, you can start writing your, the logic right away within XLQ, right? In terms of record and playback tools, the problem that used to happen is, you need the application to be live, right? And unless the application is not live, how will you record? And how will you really capture your test? So within XLQ, the design first approach where you can start designing and then later capture the application is also possible. So we support a lot of things. So I'll just quickly show you. So say once you're done writing your action logic, and then you can capture your new view. So I'm going to capture the home page view here. So I just say capture new view, and I capture the home page. Now I just say record view, right? So once your application is ready, once your design is in place, you can always go ahead and capture the view. Now, how powerful this is that you don't have to capture elements one by one. Now, this is the most powerful feature within XLQ. In one shot, you're capturing 161 elements. So anything and everything that you need to work with XLQ beyond this point is done. You don't need to go back. You don't need to worry about which element you're going to interact with. You don't need to worry about what its XPath should be, what should the locator strategy be, etc. None of that is needed in this. So you see here 161 elements captured. We say add view. Now we just continue recording because we also want the next page. So we will say sign in, and I also capture this view in one shot again. So I just say record view. Now what happens here is, again, the same thing. It's going to capture the entire page in one shot. So let me do that. 1,379 elements captured, and you're just good to go, right? So let's map it to the home page, and I say add view, and I say save and done. So this is the only thing that you need to do when it comes to recording, right? So when we see a blend, this is how powerful XLQ is, right? You don't have to go one by one. You really don't need to worry about what should be the XPath, what should be the locators strategy that I should use, because all of that is going to be done using machine learning and AI algorithms. So you really didn't need to worry about anything. So let me just get moving here. So how do you write the script? Simple, just right click here. XLQ will suggest you the list of probable actions which you can use to write a script. So I say enter in web element, and I say what I want to enter. I want to enter John.Dodd, say, okay, and then I want to enter the username. Okay, so I just give a readable name here. Okay, and I say okay. Now the machine learning algorithm has captured the entire drawn structure for you. The parent elements, everything that you need to know. So you don't really need to worry about what that element identifier should be. Okay, so I just quickly save this, and then I go to my next step, which is enter the password. So just right click here. I say encrypted password. I just type the password. For some of you who might want to try this and have already taken access to the free trial version, you can get the credentials here, which is pass123. So let me just put that here for now. Okay. So I say enter. This is going to be password input for me. Okay. I say okay. So again, it's captured the element. I say save. And then the next part is the next step is I'm going to click on sign in button. So I click on the sign in button, and I say okay. So awesome. Now we are done with clicking on sign in. Okay. I'll go back. Everything that you write is auto saved. You don't need to explicitly save anything. All of this is on cloud. All of these assets can be used anywhere, accessed anywhere. So no need to worry about setups. It's a plug and play mechanism. Okay. So let's just do the last step, which is log out, and I'll quickly run this scenario. So let me do that. So I say click here, and I say click on web element, and this is log out. I say okay, and I'm done. Awesome. So we are done with the step, which is the basic step, and we'll see how we can improvise this and get going in the next few minutes. So let me quickly run this. So when you run this, I'll also like to show you some features. You can run this now, which we'll do, right? Exactly. You can also schedule a run. You can run it in the CI job as well for continuous integration. Okay. You can run it on different environments. You can run it on different OS, different browsers. Of course, on mobile devices, which I'll show you as well. You can decide how you want to capture the snapshots. You can run your test in using parallel threads as well, right? There is self-healing options. There are pausing and troubleshoot options in your runs. You can notify the results using emails, using Teams, using Slack channels, etc. Like if you want to notify your run results, you can do that. You can do it on kickoff. You can do it on completion of your test. So a lot of flexibility, a lot of options in terms of how you can integrate and make use of this platform. So I'll just use the default settings right now, and I say run. Okay. The other good part of this is, you don't have to wait for the run to be completed, right, within Excel queue, so that you know what the results are. So basically in Excel queue, you get the dynamic run. So when it's going to run, when the setup is going to be set up for the agent, right, you can, dynamically understand in terms of, what's happening with your test and where it is going. So you can get real-time run access. So this setup takes an initial amount of time, no matter if you have 1 test or 100 tests. The initial time to trigger a test, it's going to take some time. So let me just see if and give it some time for the agent to set up and run this test. So let's wait for some time. Yeah, in the meanwhile, I'll just walk you through some of the concepts that okay, so it's running. So I'll just open this so that you get an idea what's happening. So we have logged in into QBank. We are going to enter the username. We are going to enter the password. We're going to sign in and log out. Okay. It's all dynamically done here, and you get your test results really instantly and really, really fast. So within a fraction of a few minutes, we have completed the first part of how you can interact with web elements. Okay. So I will just set up synchronization points for this. This is why you see a warning. Now, why we want to set synchronization points is you want to ensure that your tests are less flaky and and do not fail even if they are run in an unscheduled manner. So setting up synchronizations is very easy. You can go to get into context. So context is the page that we have recorded just now. So which is the login page, right? We have a synchronization option here. So what we do is wait for the username to exist and then proceed with the next steps. We'll also add the synchronization for homepage. So wait for the homepage logout button to exist and get going. So now our test is reduced to be less flaky and it's more stable in nature. Okay, so we're good with web. If you have any questions on the web, put them on the chat and Q&A. I will take them towards in some time. Now let's just quickly proceed into the API aspect of how you can do this in a no-code codeless fashion. So let's do that. Okay. For this workshop, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use two APIs. So one is a post REST API and the other is a get API. We'll see how easy it is to do this in Excel queue in a very codeless fashion. So let's get started. So I just create a context. I say API context. So save and continue. Note you don't need to record any view for API context because APIs do not interact with the UI. So there is no recording that needs to be done when you create an API context. So let us quickly use this post API. Now, what this post API is going to do is it's going to log in into the QBank with the username and the password. And it's, that's what we're going to do. And it's going to generate something called as an access token, which you want to use to fetch the total balance, right? Now, depending upon the payload, your access tokens will be different. So if I'm logging as an admin, my access token will be different. If I'm logging as john.tor, my access token will be different. Now, this is meant to and kept for security so that, no one can access anyone else's credentials and access the QBank application from the backend. Okay. So let's see how easy it is to do API testing in Excel. Okay. So let's create this. So we create login QBank using API. We select the API context. Now, for anything that you're writing in terms of an API action, you need to select this library action. So I do that. I say save and continue. Now, how easy it is to, do you really have to write code? Absolutely not, right? So you can go here into API. We support REST, SOAP API, GraphQL, etc. So you just go and select REST here because this is a REST API. Right, our API is specifically a POST API. So our method type is going to be POST. I'm going to put QBank endpoint URL, and that's all that you need to do. Okay, I'll name the reference as a login API. Say next. Now here you have to specify your payload. This is something you could get from the developers, right? In terms of what payload you need to specifically pass, basically what parameters you need to specifically pass. So just put the payload in a JSON format. And there are various other formats like XML, form data, plain, CSS, HTML, JavaScript, you name it and you have it, right? So you can also get an outline of the form here, like you can get the username, password here, and there are options to edit it. There are options to parameterize these values here, take it from the global properties, action properties, etc. So a lot of options are there over here. I will just change probably the username because we are concerned with John.Todd, so I can change the parameter here. The raw text goes here like this. And send request, and voila, that's about it. You get all the details, you get all the responses, and everything that you need to know with regards to this particular response. So I take the status, I add verifications here. Verifications is very simple. Just hover over the value of the status and click on add verifications, and you're good to go and good going. So I add verifications. See, I want to verify status code is 200. Status code 200 is success. So I just want to verify that the API is successful. So I say add and verify status. I can verify headers. Say I want to verify the server is cowboy, etc. You can do that. You can verify whether email is same. So I say John at QBank. I want to add that verification. So I say save. Of course, you can parameterize all of these values. So whenever you add the verification, you're going to get something like this, which says one verification point added. Okay. Now I'm more concerned of pulling out this access token and use this access token in another API. So I want to do an API chaining thing within XLQ. So how do I do that? So I just copy this JSON path. So there is an option here to copy the JSON node path. So I just say copy. And I will also take this access token key and save it so that it's easy for you to understand what I'm trying to tell you. Okay. So I copy this, save. So once you're done setting up your API, setting up the parameters of API, XLQ automatically generates the code for you, and you don't really need to worry about anything else, right? And now we want to capture the node, so you just type in get node from REST API. Now you see how intuitive this particular editor is. It's basically you just have to type in, right? Just type in. It's more like a notepad, which will help you customize a lot of things. It's not just about getting the nodes. There are a lot of things you can do within this notepad, like conditional statements, right? That you can do here, like if else, else if, continue. You can work with databases. You can work with likes of Excels. You can work with message queuing systems, right? So you can work with JSON files. We'll look into that as well. So you can set up API virtualization. So a lot of things are there over here, which can help you ace through anything and your real-time actual use cases. So this one you see right now is invoking an AWS Lambda function. So yeah, the possibilities are endless. You really need to know how to design your test well. Okay, so let me just quickly get the node. So I say get node because I want to get the access token. Now this is a REST API, so I say REST. I copy the node path, which I had copied earlier, and I set the API reference as login API, which was a reference I put in when I was creating this. Awesome. So I capture the access token. I put it as an output parameter. I will say new output. I say access token because this is something I want to output of this action and use in another API call. I just put this as an access token output, and voila, that's done. So without any wasting any further time, just let's run this and see if it works. So we're just doing a local run. Again, it will not have any web browser because we are not interacting with web. Okay, you will not see any browser open up. The reason being it's all happening in the back end. It's all happening in the middle layer, right? So nothing on the UI layer. So let it run. In the meanwhile, I'll explain you what you're going to do next. So the next thing what we're going to do is we're going to fetch the total balance from the API, right? So our use case is specifically to test the total balance from the UI and compare it with the value which is given from the API. So what we're going to do is we're going to call this endpoint, okay? We are going to pass the header token here, which is the access token, right? And then we are going to fetch the node value, which is total balance. Okay, so let's see how we can do this quickly. I'm trying to speed it up a bit so that we try to cover maximum number of use case in this particular session. Okay, so voila, our test is run. We have logged in, and of course, as expected, we have got and compared the API, which is risk response call, which is 200. The server is Cowboy. The email address is john@qbank.com, which is correct, and the access token. Okay, so let's be real time. Let's copy this one, for example. Okay, so let me just put this here. I'll do this. Okay, so we'll use this. So awesome, we are done with this API. Now what we're going to do is close this, and let's just create another particular REST API get call. So we say get API. So here API context, say action, this is save and continue. Okay, awesome. So it's through same steps, pass the endpoint. Oh, sorry. Okay, let's do that then. So you pass the header. So I'll say access token. So basically, for this you have to pass the header, right, which is access token. Okay. So right now, I'm hard coding this. I'll show you how to parameterize this in some time. Okay. So let me hard code this. So we pass the access token. We pass the endpoint like we did in the previous one. Your method type is get. That's about it. I'll just make this API get API as a reference name. Send request. Okay, you can also, in a similar fashion, check if the status code is 200, which means it is successful. I do that as a save. Okay, and here you're going to get the JSON path basically of the particular balance, right? So this is your response. It says balance is this. So you just copy the JSON path, and we're going to pull out this particular balance. So again, in a similar way, the balance has been got, and you can just say get node from next response. You have copied the node, so this is total balance. Hit enter. Your reference name is balance API. Awesome. Capture this in an output parameter because you want to compare it with the UI. So we say total balance. Okay, so this is going to be outputted, and this is the output of the API. Okay, so we have got the total balance now here. So I will quickly run this step. Okay, so okay, let's just run this. See if things are working as expected. So let this give it some time to run, and while I take you to the next thing in the meanwhile. So we have got the total balance from the API, which we'll just check and verify now if things are working as expected. What we're going to do is once we logged in here, what we're going to do is we are going to pull this particular balance from the UI, and we are going to compare it with the API value. Okay, so that is the comparison that we are going to do right now. So we have not written this step. If you have seen closely or followed me closely in the next, in the session, I had not captured this total balance. So we are yet to write this logic. And I'm going to show you how we are going to write this logic in a unified fashion, end to end, encapsulation of API and web automation in the same flow, right? We're not moving out to any other platform. I'm going to show you how you can write it unified into one platform, that's XMQ. So let's do that. Let's just get back here. Okay, it says no API with get balance name. Let me just quickly see what is the reference name I gave here. Okay. See what's wrong. Okay, I think I put some additional spaces here. That's why it failed. Just proper. It is bad from my side, not from the platform. Okay, awesome. So sorry for that. Let's quickly run this. Okay, awesome. So let's run this and just quickly check if things are proper and don't make any mistakes. So just to save some time, let me also show you the power of few other cool things within XLQ. When you run your tests, you get a lot of execution history out there. You get your execution runs within XLQ. You can map your scenarios to the likes of Jira's and test cases. You can automatically capture your bugs within XLQ. So all of that is really very possible, right? So if you see this particular, this is a dashboard that we are having, right? And then we have bugs here that we have logged, and you can integrate it with Jira. And what XLQ does is, it captures the entire run, or the test logic that you will write, that it will automatically send it to Jira, and it will automatically capture an error screenshot of what the particular issue is. Okay, so you don't really need to worry about cascading screenshots or cascading your test steps. It will exactly tell you where your test step has failed, right? So in this case, it has failed in the success message, right? And it was not verifying the expected text. So a lot of integrations when it comes to a unified platform are possible. And when you are choosing a platform, it's very important to know that how easy you can integrate to the likes of Jira's and CI/CD tools like Jenkins, right? Because your main motto is always to be with continuous testing. So let's just go back here. Our test has run and we are good here. I'll remove the hard coding from this particular API. And I will just parameterize this because we don't want it hard coded. So I will say new input, and I will say access token, SSA, and done. So I'll just check mark here and save. So all good and all ready to get started with our unified scenario. So let's quickly get started. I will just quickly create the scenario. We can continue. Okay, I just quickly create the steps. I'm going to reuse everything that we did. So just a second. First, I'll call the API. So I just say login into API. Okay, and then I say get total balance from API. Okay, and then I'm going to invoke the browser. Okay, and I'm going to say enter the credentials. I'm reusing all the steps that I have done here. Okay, now this is going to be a new step. So I say compare balance. Okay, and I just say I'm going to remain on the same page, which is home page during comparison. So I say add step and log out. Perfect. So I have written the entire API scenario and web scenario in the complete single flow. I will just pass the access token parameter because we have to link this parameter and take it from the first step. So I will do a parameter linking. Remove hard coding. This is how you pass parameters from an output into an input. And now I'm going to compare this balance here. So I'll just quickly go here Again, you don't need to record. Everything is already saved. Your views are already in place. So you go here, you just say text. Okay, say this to be total balance. Okay, I will capture this and I will say this is a local parameter. I want to use this parameter only inside this action. So I say total balance UI. Okay, it's captured the element again by machine learning algorithms. So you don't need to really worry what's XPath, everything. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to compare. So we're going to compare. So just say compare. We're going to compare the numeric value. So I say is equals numeric, and I'm going to compare the total balance I see on the UI with the balance that I'm going to get from the API. So I just create this as an input parameter because I don't want to hard code this value. So total balance API, and that's it. And I just capture the result. I will say local parameter again. I will just see here comparison result, whether they are equal or not. Okay, and I just this part, so it's not needed. Just say print the value. So and also say print and Excel will easily understand. You can say print in your English language and Excel will easily understand that it's something to deal with, logging a message. So it will give you recommended suggestions as well. So this is all done using recommendation algorithms. Okay, so I just print the comparison result. Okay, great. So we have structured our scenario. I will quickly pass the total balance from the API and link it into the total balance of the UI so that we can compare. So let's quickly run this and get going. So this is a specific unified flow where we are just covering API and UI in one flow. So let's quickly get going there and let's run this scenario. Go there. So in the meanwhile, I will just quickly show you how powerful XLQ is on other aspects. You get an entire blueprint, which is the XLQ universe with all the linkages. You get to know all your coverages. Now, this is something you don't really need to design. This is something which is automatically covered and designed by XLQ. So you really don't need to fiddle around with anything to create this XLQ universe. This will give you all the scenarios that you have covered, how many test cases are in progress, how many test cases have completed, how many test cases are new. So all of these things is something that is encapsulated and provided by XLQ. You get your results also very seamlessly in the results tab. The platform is really intuitive. This is the navigator which you use for design and I have used there. This is the place where you see all your results and get going. Okay, so let's just go back and let's just see our run. Okay, I just want to see our run. So awesome. So our run has been executed. So what it has done is it has gone into the API, logged in, passed the access token, used the access token here, fetched the total balance, went into the UI, and compared the total balance. If you see the info here of the condition is true, which means our values are true, and it has logged out. Now, everything I did here is without writing any single line of code. And I'll just quickly show you because we are running out of time. I will just quickly show you how easy and intuitive the mobile aspect is as well. So let me change the project and quickly show you that. Can the host let me know how much time I have left?
Hi. Yeah, Geosley, I think you have another 15 to 20 minutes.
Oh, awesome. So then I think I can show you some other superpowers. So
Yeah.
let me get going then. So we have 15 minutes. So that's really awesome. So let's get going. So what we did on the API part, we will do it also on the mobile part, right? So what we are exactly going to do is, this is as seamless as it gets. You really don't need to move away from this platform to do anything unified and to do a lot of customizations. Some of the traditional tools out there or frameworks out there, it's really very difficult. Some of them really don't support unified automation, and I really want to show this power. So we have 15 minutes. I really want to show you how easy it is and really truly no code. Okay, so the way that we did the web automation, in a similar way you're going to do the mobile automation, which I've already done here, is specifically I'm integrating it with a cloud device. So I don't have a mobile device right now set up on my system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a browser stack device farm to run my mobile scenario. So what we're going to do in the mobile scenario is the exact same thing. Like I showed you, you have to capture the views from the mobile. So I have captured this view from a device farm, and you capture this view. What you have to do here is just same thing what you did in the UI. You need to touch or tap. Now, when you come with interactions with the mobile, it's really different. You have to touch and tap instead of click, right? So this is the only difference that you're going to do here. Now, how powerful this is you don't need to write a separate action logic. If you're going to run it on an Android or an iOS, you're going to use the same action logic. That's how powerful this tool is, right? So you do clicking on a mobile, and then you enter the credentials. So let me just show you that quickly. In the similar fashion, you just have to go here, and you just have to right click, enter in mobile, enter encrypted text, and then you also have to click on sign in. So you just say touch and tap on mobile element, and then you're going to check the mobile balance. So the way that we did it on the UI is a similar way that we are going to do it here, right? So you're going to touch and tap. Sorry, we're going to get the mobile text is what we're going to use, right? We're going to get the text, and then what we're going to do is we're going to log out. So as simple, click on the mobile menu. So what I've done here is just clicked on this particular menu option because the mobile way of interaction is different. So you touch and tap on the menu here, right? And then log out of QBank. So the way that you do it on the mobile is more like, you touch that thing here and you just right click here and touch and tap. That's how easy it is. Just imagine using conventional frameworks, how much time you would have taken to do this entire flow. It's not possible in an hour for sure. And that's my challenge, right? So let's get going and let's just quickly run this since we have probably a few more minutes. So I'm happy that I can show you the running of this so that, seeing is believing and not taking my word for it, right? So we have the same API logic here. We have passed the values here. We have logged in into QBank. We're going to specify the value, and then I'm going to call a device farm machine and run the mobile scenario. Okay, so let's quickly run this and say run. Let's do the same steps over and again. So let's keep this running. In the background, I'll just explain you some of the other things I wanted to also cover as well. So I can quickly show you that since we have another 10 minutes more. So I'll also be talking about how you can easily connect with a database connection in a very no-code fashion. You really don't need to write any line of code, right? Of course, we may need certain database queries to execute, so you need to have some basic knowledge about writing database queries, which I'll explain you as well, right? How you can easily fetch something from an Excel file as well as JSON. Okay, so let's give it some time to run this. It's running the login. Okay, it's capturing the balance, and yeah, it's going to log out. So the rest of the steps are going to happen on a cloud or a device farm. So let that run in the background. I'll come to that in some time. So we're going to, see how you can get the value from the text using simple logic. Okay, and then you're going to log in into and see how you can extract the files, the file content from a JSON file. So I have already had this created, the JSON file and stuff with that. So basically, I have a user credentials Excel, okay, which is specifically the username and the passwords that I have given here in an encrypted format. And I also have some JSON files. So I have created a JSON as well. So at times, there are, there are times you may have to fetch values from the database. Some of the teams prefer to use or pass test data in JSON, right? So they use the JSON credentials to store their values, right? Some of them use Excel, some of them use databases. So within Excel queue, again, you can connect to all of these interfaces, and trust me, without writing a line of code. So let's show you that. Okay. So we have run our unified solution, and this was the major use case of today, which was to write and use a single platform to do all of this in a unified flow. So we have API, we have the web, and then we have the mobile scenario also executed and verified here. Okay, so all of this is done. So you can see here, this has gone to the cloud provider. So when it goes to cloud providers, or when you're trying to interact with cloud providers like Browser Stack, Lambda Test, or Perfectos, or anything for that matter, they give you a specific app ID URL. And I'm sure you might have used it in conventional frameworks. That's the only thing that you need to do to integrate here in XLQ, and everything exactly what you write in action logic is already invoked and run there. Okay, and it's really seamless, right? So that's how powerful these integrations are. You see, it took just a matter of 4 seconds, 7 seconds, 5 seconds to run some of these scenarios, right? So the integrations when it comes to integrating with device farms is also useful, as well as when you run it on your own machine, right? So these were the times of running it on your own machine. So you will also see a visual snapshot of what happened. So the APIs were done, the balance was captured in the UI, we logged out, we went into the mobile screen, and the balances were checked, and then they logged out. Okay, so you also get screenshots here within XLQ. So let me just quickly show you the JSON things which I showed you, and how to write them. It's as simple, when you're working with Excel files, like I did here, which is get text from this row number, this column number. You specify the file path that you're going to refer to, and then you can store the credentials and use the credentials. A JSON file is also simple. So basically, you have to type this, right? So you just say get text from Excel or something like that. It will give you all of the suggestions here, what you can do with an Excel file. Right. Similarly, if you're working with JSON, it will give you all the commands that you need to do while working with JSON, right? So get node values and stuff like that. So that is what are the commands I've written here. It is to get the file, store the content, parse the content using, again, in a natural English language, get the node and store the node. Uh, Even you can connect to databases. So when you connect to databases, so this is an example I have done to connect to a Postgre SQL database. So when you connect to a database, you just need to know which session you're going to connect, which server you're going to connect, which port you're going to connect, the username and the password, right? And that's about it, right? You don't need to worry about anything else. Now, all of this is again being done in a codeless fashion. Okay, so that's about it. I know I was fast towards some part of this, but definitely, I will give you the links to this and what I have explained as well. So if you're interested to, consider XLQ or evaluate XLQ for your POCs, we are happy to give you a free trial. Do connect with me. And if you want a free trial, you can get into bit.ly Q free trial. So you can get there. Learn more about our offering Q Live, which is to dynamically work with enterprise applications, which we recently revealed and is one of the most innovative solutions out there in the market today, where, when you're working with likes of Salesforce or Oracle, you have to deal with a lot of releases per year. Now within XLQ, it automatically gives you a pre-built universe with the latest up-to-date release integration. So that's how powerful XLQ Live is. It's more about updating your assets without any maintenance activity. So you really don't need to maintain, you really don't need to recollect your locators should a release happen and should the objects change, right? So we are solving one of the major use cases and the major problems with test automation, which is maintaining your and changing your object locators and causing a maintenance problem. Okay, so that's about it for my session. You can get into bit.ly/q learning bytes, where whatever I explained you right now, I've also captured that in short videos on YouTube. So if you would want to know more about it, I know I was a little bit fast because I wanted to really show you that something like this is possible in no code. And it's really a reality, and it's going to be the next future. So I thought of covering all the aspects so that you believe and you embrace that no code is the future, and it's going to change a lot in the world of automation. Of course, it is not going to replace testing. It is going to assist testing. So try to embrace it. And I'm thankful you are all there for this session and for being a part of Codeless Conf and embracing this new wave, which is the wave of codeless, no code, low code automation. So I'm Geosley, and you can connect me on LinkedIn and Twitter for more questions. And yeah, that's about it. So I can
Thank
take
you. Thank you.
some
Thank
questions.
you. Thank you very much, Josley. It was very detailed sessions within the hour, right? So, yeah, I mean, I can see the lot of comments. I mean, good feedback about the tool, right? So, it is AccelQ is one of the unified tool which will cover all the platforms, all the functional like API, DB, UI, mobile, everything, right? But we have a couple of questions that being answered
Yeah.
by the participants, right? So, is the tool is customizable? I mean,
Yes.
as a
Yes.
user, I can customize. If it is
Yes.
yes, I mean, on what extent I can do the customization, or what areas I can do for the customization.
Right. So the tool is very much customizable. The reason being, we don't want to be tied to a particular technology or to a particular application, right? So today, it's React or Angular in terms of UI. Tomorrow, the technology could differ, right? While all of our libraries that we have today supports the basic things that you would need in a real-time use case of automation. We do have user extension facility where you can extend the library, and you can customize it. So extensibility is also there, but I would say all of that is already possible within the library. I could cover not everything, but most of it. But yes, we have user extensions, so you can explore XLQ user extensions. On how you can build these extensions. Of course, those user extensions, you will need the knowledge of Java, right? But yet again, yeah, that is not absolutely necessary, only in special cases. You may
Got
need
it.
to do it. And we are having now a marketplace. So if there are any customizations that are happening within organizations, they can also upload those libraries into our marketplace. So we have a community marketplace where all of our customers are loading these custom use cases also in our marketplace. So you can always go ahead and download those libraries from our marketplace.
Okay.
So that
So is there any tutorial or any documents learning centers available?
Yes. So XLQ has Q Academy. So you can go to www.xlq.com. We have a Q Academy where we have videos. We have each learning guides that we have where you can go and refer. We have free certifications as well, which are running for a limited time. So if some of you have already done XLQ, I would recommend to take those certifications. But yes, the learning material is out there. You can go to our website. We have Q Academy. And we also have a growing community. We are on Slack, and we also have a forum. So in case you need any real-time help, you can join our Slack channel. We'll be definitely help you out during your POCs, course of your POCs, and beyond that as well.
Do we have an option for performance testing?
Right now, no. That is in our roadmap for sure, as
Okay.
our major target is to have everything encapsulated in a tool. Right. Some of the other things in terms of performance testing, in terms of visual testing, is already in our roadmap. So yes, right now, no, but yes, that is the plan.
So does the cross-browser integrations require other platforms like Lambda test?
Yes,
or
it
browser stack?
integrates. Yes, it integrates with all of the major device farms and device labs. So, of
Okay.
course, that is also there. You can also integrate it with your own device farms or Docker containers as well. So, all of those possibilities are seamlessly there within
Okay.
XML.
I mean, one of the participants are asking about the pricing.
So,
Uh,
yeah. So yes. So right now our pricing is more towards we have a 14-day free trial where we help you out with it, and then the pricing is on our page xlq.com/pricing. You can be able to see that. We will be soon launching, and we are thinking to launch also a community edition where you can experience the power as well of XLQ. So that is also something in our roadmap where seeing is believing. So you can also try it out. But yes, we do have a lot of hackathons we conduct, throughout the year. That is the time you can actually come and test yourself and do a POC on these platforms. We'll soon announce a lot more hackathons that are happening. We did 2 last year, so that
yes.
the general public could experience how this platform is, and don't take my word for it, right? Try it out, and you'll know how beautiful this tool is and how easy it is with the notion of no code, low code. Yeah.
Yeah, got it. So thank you, Josley. So I mean, we are done with the sessions and the Q&A.
Thank
So
you so
we
much.
have again quiz sessions that is going as a part of all the sessions series. So we have Manish back on the stage to do the quiz session quickly. Yes, Manish, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. And really means in 1 hour, I guess people had learned more out of this. So let's see their knowledge now, what they have learned by the quiz. And thanks for sharing these questions with us. Okay, so guys, let me share my screen. Okay, so here you go with the leaderboard. So this is from the past quiz we have, and now we will play another. Okay, guys, hope you're ready. Here you go. %. Ready for next question? Here you go. Let's see. Next question. You have a mixed answer. Let's see. So 48% people, sir. Yeah. Push is the correct. Okay, so guys, final question for this session. I know the answer. Cool. So we have 100%, and that is the correct. So next is our leaderboard. Okay, this slight change. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. Over to you.
Thank you, all the participants, and thanks the presenter to Josley. So thanks for spending time with us and walking through the XLQ in all across all the platforms available. Thank
so
you.
much.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shravan. Thank you everyone for
Yeah.
attending and
So
enjoy the rest
yeah.
of the conference.
So we'll be leaving this session and we'll be showing the another sessions that is planned. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye.